Gone. He disappeared.
Don't mind
behind
me.
the melon stand.
I figured everybody would rather see Whoa Nelly than me. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Coin Ops console games and all kinds of nonsense. Bart, say hello to everybody in the chat. There's a ton tonight.
Yeah, let's see. AZ Cowboy 1
Yep.
was the first one to talk. Chaos is here. Hey, Chaos.
Chaos. Hollywood
Lolo's
Polo.
here. Some gaming road warrior. He's kind of spamming our chat. I'm going to ban him real quick. Oh, well, it's time for the show, says Derek.
Derek.
Tattooed memories.
That's chaos.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that chaos? Let me scroll down. Yeah, it's chaos. Get funky with it. Did I miss anyone? But while I was going down, oh, here we go. Gideon's here. Gideon is surviving the Dutch heat wave going on over there.
Yeah, I saw him talking earlier too. The way their houses are built over in his part of the world is that they're built to keep heat in, and it's gotten so hot that it's they're just not set up for heat over there.
Yeah,
they're set up for the opposite. So
well, he said in that chat in the Discord. Any of you all aren't on the Discord, why not? But he said in the Discord that it's feeling like it's Texas over there. And then I said, oh, yeah, because we're only getting up to 99 today. We're in a cold free, which is 37.2 Celsius, 99 degrees. And he said, well, it's not quite that. But that's okay. We're built for it down here. He's not. So Derek said when you had the big juicy melons up, Greg, you've never looked so good.
That's right. I know that's right.
And here's this crazy chick. I think she's stalking me. She's all over.
She tried taking over the TV.
She's a little loony.
Yeah, let's see. 20C and 25C in the house. What does 25C work out to? I can't Google it. I don't have my phone. Yeah, it's warm though. But the bad part is that it's warmer in his house than outside. So that's not good. Now it's a balmy 91 in here in my trailer, so it's nice and cool. But I'm stoked on Tuesday. Our high is only supposed to be 83.
Oh, nice.
I got my jacket out. I'm ready to go.
Here it's been, like I say, the boy came home from the military on leave, and we had a great weekend with him here. And I had cleaned. It'd been so nice that I'd done some yard work and I cleaned brush around the fence line. And always that fence line just always gets crazy with brush. Every year I do it, and then I start a pile. Then I rotate piles, and I burned last year's pile. And I had the neighbors coming down because, bitch, I had a fire shooting 20 feet up in the air. And I wish I lived out where Bart did now, because people come by knocking on the door. What do you? Yeah, hello. Yeah, what do you need? Well, I live down the street. I thought your house is fire. Well, it isn't. So go mind your own business. And get your ass on down the road. And it's like somebody else will come out and we smelled smoke down there. Oh yeah, it's a fire. Well, you got a fire? Yeah, I said it. Go away. Goodbye. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. So there we go. Gideon said 25C is like 77 Fahrenheit, but they don't got air conditioning. So, yeah, and that could be bad.
Well, they live in grass huts. No, are they in grass huts over there still?
Maybe. I don't know. Grass roof windmills or something. I'm not sure. Derek says he heard my stalker is good at Stranger Things pinball.
She is good at Stranger Things, especially the specialty modes.
The specialty modes, especially. So what's going on, guys? What's new in the land of gaming? Anything? Nothing. All right, thanks for watching, people. This has been an informative show.
I'll jump in with something I'm excited about. I love pinball, even though I've gotten off to driving trucks and racing cars and flying airplanes, but I just can't always go back to pinball. And this Pinball M, I wish I knew the exact date it was going to start, but I have a feeling that what I'm hearing is it might be around the end of the month, Halloween. It's all going to be spooky themed. So I'm really excited about Pinball M. So if you want to,
absolutely. That is one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to right now. Pinball M. I think you're right. I'm thinking October, because they're really starting to hammer it on Reddit and Facebook and all that. Zen is putting out a lot of commercials for it. They're gearing up. So I'm thinking it's going to be an October release. Just in time. I think it's going to be great. So I'm pretty stoked.
Oh, yeah.
Let me ask you guys something. Have you guys ever seen this? I sent you a text on this pinball table. I don't know if the viewers can see that. Let me see if I can.
Oh yeah, that table you saw. That's
flipperless.
It doesn't have flippers. It just has a bunch of holes with numbers. Anybody know what this is? I haven't a clue. I thought it was a ding ding table, and I was wrong. And they had two of those things at the. It was like a restaurant and grill that me and my son and my wife we took off to go eat prior to coming on the show, and they had those two tables there. We did ask if they worked, and they didn't work. But I was just like, well, "Where's the flippers on this thing? That looks very old."
That's some serious old school pinball. Because it was years that pinball tables were out before they started putting flippers on them. And that's what got them in trouble with the gambling a lot of times. A lot of those were gambling tables where if you got it in certain holes, it would pay out money. And that's what got pinball in trouble and banned all over the country, was that it was a game of chance and you could win money. And the advent of flippers made it to where it became a game of skill. And they weren't allowed to pay out money, obviously. So I would guess, total guess, because I couldn't really see. I don't know what the name was. I would think that was maybe from the 30s or 40s.
Hold on. I can get you the name. I know it's kind of hard to see on the...
Based on that, Mike, I got a trivia question for you guys and the group, but no Googling. What was the name of the first flippered pinball machine? Question 1. And then for the tougher part, what year did it come out? What was the name of the first? And I'll tell you, that question, I had to Google it at one time, because some of these pinball forums, in order to join them, they ask you certain questions to see if you really are a pinball enthusiast. And they'll ask you that question. You got to answer it right to be on their forum. So that's the question I pose. Anybody can answer. What was the first one, and what year did it come out? First one was flippers.
I don't even have a guess at what the first flippered game was, but I would say somewhere 1953. That's my guess for the year.
Close.
Mine will be.
That's about 95% just pulled out of my butt. So it's probably not a good guess.
I tell you
I'm
what,
gonna
it
say
was called
69.
it was called Flipper, and it came out in 11.
Flipper.
Is it Dolphin
It's called
Day?
Flipper.
The first one. Well, if I don't see the answer soon, but no, Mike, those are cool old tables. And a matter of fact, you can even download VPX tables that are exactly that. You can download them where you just launch the ball and let it. They were America's version of a pachinko machine.
Oh, okay.
You guys know what a pachinko machine was, right?
Yeah.
They're in Japan.
Those,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is this Hollywood Polo? Is this your guess? Gorgar, 1979.
1979. Huh.
Gideon's guessing around 1931. Kelly went for 1947.
yeah, I'm gonna have I'll go for. Let's see who can get the closest, because nobody's hit it exact so far. But I could give an award out for the closest.
Yeah, well, I know, not to be mean or anything. I know it can't be Polo's guess 1979 because heck, that
Wait a second.
there were
I
a
just
lot
looked
of
down. We
there
have
were
an
a lot of
exact.
tables out in the 70s.
We have an exact answer. Never mind. I'm sorry. I see an exact
Yeah.
answer. I just missed that one. Kelly Huff gets the exact answer.
It was 1947.
1947.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Whatever I said, 53 wasn't far off.
Yeah, I said you were close.
Yeah, that's cool. What was the table?
Humpty Dumpty.
Oh, you know,
Humpty Dumpty.
now that you say that, that was in them history of pinball videos. Remember that series of videos we watched a few months back?
Mhm.
And I do remember now that Humpty Dumpty pinball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
You
your
need to
other
watch
trivia question. What was Humpty Dumpty from the old rhymes, the tales?
He was an
But I
egg.
just saw- Well, yeah, I just saw that come up today, actually. And people were like, they said, well, they never actually said he was an egg, right? That came up later in drawings and stuff. And the joke was, oh, if he wasn't an egg, he was probably a person and he fell off a wall, right? And people were trying to put them together. That's pretty gross. But it was a cannon that fell off a wall that they actually tried to put back together. So I never knew that. And
really?
yeah, if you look it up, Humpty Dumpty was a cannon. So just kind of stupid. But since you mentioned Humpty Dumpty, I happened to see that today. And I thought, that's pretty wild. I never knew that. I always thought Humpty Dumpty was an Eggman, too. So
That's
Nice.
pretty cool. I didn't know that. That's a neat. Now, well, before I forget, you need to watch that. What was the name of that movie? The Man Behind Pinball. I can't remember the title. I'll look it up when we go to another segment here.
Yeah, that
And
was a
look at
good.
Great show. It was a true fictional movie is how they described it. It had some, but it was based on a true story.
Yeah. And Derek, I will try to find that series that I say we watched it because I know I watched it and I know Greg watched it because we talked about it at the time. It wasn't like Greg and we sat down and watched the thing together. We didn't have movie night. But I know we both watched it, and I don't know, Poe and Mike, I don't know if you ever watched that series, but it was really interesting. They started way back, and they talked about a lot of that stuff. I'll see if I can find it, and if I can find it, I will put a link to the first video of the series in the pinball section of the Discord. So there you go. Anyone that's watching this and is not a member of our Discord, there's another reason why you should join our Discord. Don't avoid it just because Derek's there.
Derek.
Well, actually, I'm going to stand up for my buddy. And normally I'd agree with you, but take advantage of somebody. Take advantage of somebody when you can. I had a real problem getting. I've gotten into this playing with my wheel and my steering stuff, and I couldn't get that Need for Speed, which, by the way, is on sale. At Steam, regularly $69 for $6.99. I mean, even if you don't want it, it's like my wife says, "Why'd you buy that?" I say, "Well, honey, why'd you buy that? We don't need it, but it was on sale."
Yeah, what a price! What did you say that was like 69 down to 6 something or something
It's
like that?
99.
90% off right now.
Wow. Yeah, I
Yeah.
watched you play that last night before I went to bed, Greg. Awesome. I never saw one that was quite like that before. I used to play the Need for Speed games on PlayStation 1 when I was in the Air Force. And when they came out with the Hot Pursuit where you could be like the police and stuff, I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
Well,
What I
this has
liked
got a
about
story.
Greg's video when he was playing that is he had 2 cameras. One was showing him behind the wheel and one was his face. So you could tell that he actually did have his eyes open while he was driving. Because you couldn't tell by his driving, but you could tell by that face cam.
Going through those road barriers, that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I told Kelly, I said, if we were at this race, it was a real thing, and you were fearing for your life whenever, Greg, all you had to do was stand in the middle of the road. You'd be safe. Because that's the one place he didn't drive was on the road.
Well, he was just like me. That's what I like about the beginning of the video, because he played like about what I would do. It's like the first challenge was actually getting to where the race was. Then he got turned around and was going the wrong way. Right?
Right.
I would have done the same thing. It's like, where's the damn race at?
But I tell you, I'm teasing Greg because, we tease each other.
Sure.
But we were laughing so hard watching that, and Greg was laughing while it's worth. Go watch Greg's video play. He's laughing while he's just, what the heck? And then he's all stoked at the finishing position. So that was good, too, at the end. I'm not going to spoil that, where he ended up finishing. So Greg was pretty happy with his finishing spot for a while there.
He made some sweet cash.
Yeah, made some cash. And,
Well,
we were laughing so hard.
every time I play, I just hit the record button, and I just, if I want to use them, I use them. If I don't, and not to spoil anything, but I'll have a sequel to that one where I actually move up in position, and I actually get to a hot girl kind of takes a liking to me. So it's got a story too. I mean, it's a story game, but
So
I don't know. I'm having a ball with it.
It's on sale, $23 on PlayStation 5. Just saying, and it is.
I want it for $6. I got it for $6. I want it for $6.
That's right.
Cross-platform play, so we could all play together.
Now, don't you start with that crap again, there.
Now, Bart, did you get? So you got the $6 version, right? Well, obviously,
I did. It's downloading as we speak.
50 gigabytes. 50, isn't it 39 or 45 or what gigabytes?
34 gigabytes to download.
And PC Master Race will be putting mods on there and cheating against the PS5 guys. I knew how that works.
Well, this is one game that you can drive in. I tend to drive in this the way Derek drives in American Truck Simulator.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like a fun game. I'm pretty excited to play it.
And I've got big things coming. American Truck Simulator. I've got. I'm way ahead on some videos. So if you want, I know Bart puts his out about every morning at 8. Isn't that right? And then mine follow every morning about 10. So if you want to, I just set them up to automatically go out. And I've got some good ones coming up. Bart, I'll tell you a funny thing at Bart's. I mean that I say this with love. I enjoy watching the video. I watch my own. I watch Bart's. But I knew we had this company coming into town, and I was really exhausted. Didn't sleep well the night before. So I just turned Bart's on. Well, Bart's got a calming voice, and that truck's running. Now, at least this helped his algorithm on. I had the playlist set up, and this helped. But I'm telling you what, I got through one of them, and I was getting ready to comment and everything. And then I woke up like 2 hours later, and I'd realized I'd watched just about every one he'd put out, and I thought, well, at least he got some view time on him.
Yeah, don't feel bad. I always watch my own too, and I watch yours all the way through, and I try to watch everybody's videos.
I do too. I watch them all the way through, but this time I fell asleep.
Tonight when I was watching my video, because it came out like you said at 8:00 this morning when I'm at work. So when we got home from work, I put it on, and next thing I know, Kelly was saying something to me. I'm like, I fell asleep during my own video, so
I don't feel so bad. I don't feel so bad.
Yeah, but Yeah, I was a little disappointed though, Greg. Now, since you brought up watching these videos, because you were in Elko, Nevada, you drove right by my garage. You didn't honk and wave. You didn't even acknowledge that my place was. I was pretty hurt. I was.
I always stop when I'm in your place down in Texas.
Van
but
Horn, yeah. But
you're never
no,
there.
you did when you picked up at that Tesla place in the video that went out today. My garage is right around the corner, which is why I got a garage there. I was hoping that my drivers would do runs of Tesla cars because they pay well. So, but they haven't yet. So,
I'm about to fire a driver.
no.
Not making me mad. Anyway, enough about that.
Yeah.
Turn it over to Mike and Poe for a little bit because we turn it into the American trucks, which is just to me become a blast, and I hope y'all enjoy it. I know one thing: the views on it, I'm surprised compared to some of my stuff have been halfway decent. I mean, it's fun. I like doing it. Mike, you had a question earlier. What was your question earlier? You said you thought you might pose, and we said, well, we'll save it for tonight. I know we were talking a little bit about.
Yeah, I want to ask, what was your first arcade machine you guys played? I know for me, I played Pac-Man. I'm trying to think how old I was. Maybe I was like 5 or 6. And my dad brought me to this place that had ice cream. And I remember I had to get like a little stand because I'm not tall enough to reach the joystick and look at what the monitor is. So had that, and here I am licking my ice cream. I think it was like chocolate or Rocky Road, and me playing Pac-Man. And then I also remember a lot of the older kids were playing Miss Pac-Man. So apparently it was during a time when that just came out and Pac-Man was no longer the popular arcade machine. Everyone went and played the new one. But yeah, that was my first memory of playing an actual arcade machine. Was Pac-Man was my first. So how about you guys?
Oh, got any?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
what do you?
I think the first one I played out in the wild was Crazy Climber because we didn't have anything close by, arcade wise. And I remember at one point, my parents rented the same house for years. They were finally going to buy a place out in the country. So they went to meet a realtor at a local fast food joint, and they had no place to send the 4 of us kids. So they brought us along and kind of shoved us over into the little lobby area where they had a Crazy Climber there, and they threw a couple quarters at us, and I became obsessed with this thing. We didn't go back there very often, but it was always in my mind then, I wanted to play this Crazy Climber machine again. So,
Nice.
I thought I think that was the first one I played. At Burger Time. I remember playing that one somewhere too and falling in love with that game too. So I can't remember which one was the very first one.
Nice.
Question for the two of you, and Bart can chime in, but Bart, you two are the youngest of this bunch, I think. The 2 guys down on the bottom there. So, what was it costing you per game to play back then? Was it a penny, nickel, dime, quarter? What did you have to throw in there?
25 cents was
25 cents.
Oh, I was around
Yeah,
for probably all of this stuff, but I mean, I was born in '73, but we didn't have anything around us that had arcade machines yet. We didn't have arcades close by. My parents weren't big into going to malls and stuff like that, unless it was around Christmas time, They might go to a mall. So,
Yeah, it was a quarter for me too. And I had gaps because when they were first coming out, I lived in Phoenix, and I'll do a 2-parter with my answer to that. The first time I played a pinball machine was at the kids down the street. Tommy Hammer, his dad had 2 pinball machines in the living room, and one time he let us play because this was like elementary school, like 3rd, 4th grade, so he didn't let us get on them very often. Don't remember for sure. I think one was an Evel Knievel, though. I'm not for sure on that. But the first actual arcade game was down the road at the 7-Eleven. They had a Space Invaders, and then that one got rolled out for the original Asteroids. So those were the 2 games but Space Invaders was there first, of course, and then Asteroids. And the other one I used to play in Phoenix was down at Metro Center at the ice skating rink. They had Star Castle. I used to play that all the time at the ice skating rink. And then there was a huge gap because of where we moved. Like you said, Poe, if you don't have a place close by and you're a kid, you're like, hey, Mom, can you drive me to the Donkey Kong machine? She'll be like, Donkey Kong your ass to clean in your room.
Right.
That's all you're going to do. So then there was a break. So I didn't get to play like Donkey Kong and some of those till I was in junior high school. I was like ninth grade before I got to play a lot of those games that followed that asteroid timeline because I just didn't live anywhere close. And Greg, what was your first game?
Well, first I got to say that the year that Poe was born, my daughter was born a year later. So a little bit of a gap there. So first thing I want to address is I didn't have to have Mom drive me to the first games I can remember because I was able to get around on my own. But, I was having trouble. I had one game in mind that I was going to mention that I remember first, but then it's asteroids. The minute you mentioned those, it was in the bowling alley down the street from my house, far enough down that actually I could drive then, but I elected to usually take a bicycle. A lot of those neighborhoods still took bicycles because it was easier to get around on a Saturday or Sunday, and we'd ride down to our bicycles down to may seem strange, but when you had a car back then, sometimes it was just easy to jump on the bike. We went down there, and I remember playing asteroids, and I didn't care for it much. And then they brought along the one that just seemed like it was too black and white. There wasn't. But the first one I remember that I really enjoyed was there was actually two. They added Pac-Man and Donkey Kong, and those are the two I remember enjoying the most. And of course, then as I got older, everybody knows that my favorite arcade game though is Galaga, because they had a restaurant nearby me that had one, and I've told that story many times, so I won't get into that. But yeah, so the first one was Asteroid Zone.
Nice. Looks like Polo had a Ladybug and Donkey Kong.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's Gucci's Brother Savage. Brother Savage said hello first, and then he threw in his Operation Wolf.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Good game.
Yeah.
Now, pinball machine, same as you, I don't remember playing a commercial pinball machine. It was the guy down the street that had a pinball machine in his garage. I couldn't even tell you which one it was. It had flippers, though. It wasn't that old. But,
I might have been an adult the first time I played a pinball machine that I paid for. I just didn't have access to them. Yeah, it was. I played at that neighbor guy's house maybe once or twice. He let us play, and then I didn't play until I think I was in the Navy. The next time I played an actual pinball machine out in the wild, and that was Black Knight, and it was in Rota, Spain, at the Enlisted Club.
Oh,
they had a Black Knight machine there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so that was the first pinball machine I played out in the wild.
That's cool. Black Knight? Is that what'd you say the name of Black Knight? Yeah.
Black Knight.
That's a cool game.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, Derek wants that Ms. Pac-Man Galaga machine.
Yeah, I got something to comment on that, on the Pac-Man Galaga. I wonder if it's that anniversary one. Yeah, that's a nice machine, Derek. The only problem I didn't care for is I would have preferred having the original Miss Pac-Man joystick, because he put the more modern joystick on it, and it just doesn't have the same feels like the original, like either the Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man joystick. Yeah. That's the only thing I didn't like about that machine. But if you were to swap that out, yeah, awesome machine.
And since we're talking about Miss Pac-Man, I kind of skipped over this because I was trying to get to that. I guess for me and Poe. Poe, did you pick up the Ms. Pac-Man Speed mod and the Wizard of War for the arcade?
No, not Wizard of War. I saw them talking about the Ms. Pac-Man Speed mod. I didn't get that one either. Yeah. I did pick up a few games the other day on there. But
yeah, I saw that they were there. I haven't picked them up yet. And I downloaded like 7 or 8 that I can't even remember on like Thursday, and they're still on my laptop. I haven't pushed them yet because I just haven't got to it. So, but I plan on getting those, the Ms. Pac-Man Speed Mod and the Wizard of War.
Well, if we're going to pose questions about firsts in gaming for each of us and the audience out there, I can remember the first, and I don't know if this qualifies, so I think my console guys could answer this better. But I remember what I thought was my first console that I had, and I remember my wife at the time. That was wife one, yeah. She was she worked for, I don't know if these were nationwide at Montgomery Ward. Did they have Montgomery Ward? You know, there's Sears and Roebuck, and then around here they had a Montgomery Ward. She worked there, and I remember going through around the holiday time, they had an end counter. And they had the latest thing. And they had a TV hooked up to it. It was making a bloop, 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 ding. And I saw Pong. Just this little plastic thing with 2 dials on it. That's all it was. 2 dials that you sat next to each other and needed. And I bought that son of a gun because she got a discount there at Montgomery Ward, and she worked there. And I went to pick her up. And I went home with it, and man, that was so that was my first. So was that considered one of the first consoles? I turned that to Mike and Poe. He can answer that.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, everybody had one then too, right? Yeah. Pong the original, and then everybody had their knockoffs. Magnavox, the Odyssey.
Yeah. And 2 or 3.
If it was Montgomery Ward's, Montgomery Ward's probably had a Signature Series Pong, I'm sure. Everything from Montgomery Ward's was called Signature. They had the Signature Series television and everything.
Yeah, so when she worked there, that was great. I bought that there, and I think my first bowling ball I bought there because of the sporting goods department.
Oh, nice.
Ward's and Sears had everything. They had everything.
Oh, yeah. I worked at Ward's in the very early 90s before I went into the Air Force and made the mistake of getting a Montgomery Ward's credit card. I think that was my very first ever credit card. So I think most of my paychecks would go straight to buying crap at Ward's, you know. And I was very close to buying everything in that, what they call it, Electric Avenue was their electronics department there. And I would go past and they had the Philips CDI there and all of that stuff. I came with 3DO. I almost bought some of those consoles that failed immediately when they were there for like $5 billion in the early 90s, you know.
Well, yeah, I was just talking that little bit of history with my wife, and actually with my first wife. She came over when the kids were here, so we're all here together. You know, matter of fact, I got a photo somewhere of me sitting in a chair with my first wife, second wife, and third wife all sitting on my lap. I'll have to put that up, bring that sometime if I can find it. But we were reminiscing about that stuff, and when she worked at Ward's, and we were talking about, like, you know, a 25-inch TV back then. You know, since she worked there, we got a discount. We got a 25-inch console TV and said, oh, my God, we got the biggest TV available. And what did we pay for it? I don't know what I paid for it, but I've got a 85-inch 4K TV upstairs that I probably didn't pay much more than I paid for that console back then. I think I bet I paid $500 or $600 for that console back then. Of course, you know, it was one of those cheesy, big old ones, the wooden ones that on the end where the TV, you know, TV's in the middle, you open the other end, and it had a record player in it. You know, you could play your records. Nice. And, you know,
Nice.
Right.
25-inch, my God, 25-inch. The monitor sitting in front of me, I'm watching you guys on, is 34-inch.
Yeah.
We thought those things were the greatest, and my dad had the Zenith color TV in the living room with the wood built all around the thing. And he was hesitant, you know, with the Atari. He wasn't going to get us one for a while because his buddies at work talked about the burn-in. You know, the score was going to burn in and this and that. But eventually he got us the Atari. But putting on the UHF channels, we had 2 of them here in the Pittsburgh area, Channel 22 and 53. So you had to turn it to that little U, right? And then flip the dial to the 53. Well, 53 was way off. So us kids, you know, we wanted to go and watch the cartoons or whatever they put on there. We would turn that so freaking fast, right? My dad would get pissed. And he'd say, stop turning it so fast. You go slow one at a time. You're going to break that knob. We're not going to break the knob, Dad. Well, sure enough, Dad was at work. You know, and it's time to watch, I think it was like the 60s reruns of Spider-Man were on in the afternoon. My brother's like, turn on 53. I go over there. We turn it to the little U on the one knob. It snapped right off in my hand. It comes off. I'm just looking at the thing like, oh, no, yeah. So my oldest brother, he comes to the rescue. He's like, well, I'll get some glue. Well, we'll have it glued, and it'll be dry before Dad ever gets home from work tonight. He'll never know. He's digging around and he can't find any glue except for Elmer's wood glue in the house. And we don't live anywhere near a store, so that's what we're going to have to use. So he glued it with Elmer's wood glue, and we put it on there. We just put it into place and we let it sit for hours. We're going to be fine. Nobody's going to touch the TV, right? Well, Dad comes home, and he didn't really watch TV too much either. He watched the Pennsylvania Lottery at 7 o'clock. That was it. And then the news would come on right after that. And that's all Dad usually watched on TV. And then the TV would be turned back off. We're sitting in the living room that night, and Dad turns on the TV, and he goes to move that knob. And it came right off. And there's this big, slimy-looking booger of glue, like, between that knob and the TV and Dad's hand. And you could see the blood just fill up slowly. Beat red. Who was it? And there's my brother's hit. No, and it was me. And those days, that was it. I mean, like Indiana Jones, that belt was out of all the loops, and I was done, you know. But,
Right?
yeah, the good old days. Dad's seen it. I ruined it, right? And for the longest time, there was vice grips on there that if we wanted to get the channel 53, you had the vice grips. That TV was staying. He wasn't buying a new one.
Nice. Yeah. I think I mentioned before in Phoenix, I would always go to those somewhere in the 50s, that UHF channel, because they'd play the Monty Python and the Benny Hill shows.
Yes.
And it was like, but those you had to make sure Mom wouldn't catch you if you're. Sometimes there was booby hills going on the Benny Hill show. But yeah, those were the days. That was a 13-inch black and white TV.
Yeah, we eventually got one of those for our room. My grandma had one that she used in her bedroom. And when she moved on and got a little color TV, she gave us the black and white one for our bedroom. So we would end up watching like wrestling or whatever, you know, WWF with Hulk Hogan and stuff on Saturdays in our room. And eventually I moved my Nintendo into that one once I got a Super Nintendo for the living room. I was playing my Nintendo on the little black and white TV. That was rough, man. 13-inch, trying to make things out in black and white.
Oh, that's awesome.
I see how I wrote the lyrics down. I've got that LP in disco I was talking about earlier. We'll rock right down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
Yeah,
that was their theme music too. They played that at Montgomery Ward's for their Electric Avenue, part of that song. You know,
that's another one of those things that I did not learn until just a few years ago. I never paid attention to the lyrics of that song, and it's a political song about the strife that was going on in his home country. Electric Avenue is really a district where it was the only place that had electricity. The rest of the city lived so poor with no power, and they were going down to rock Electric Avenue and then take it higher in the government to complain about how poorly they were being treated. I'm like, I just thought it was a cool dance tune. I didn't know I was supposed to think. I just learned that like 3 or 4 years ago.
Right out in the street.
Yeah, he's got his dreadlocks on. He's singing about rocking the electric. I'm thinking, yeah, this is smoke some ganj and party down. He's like, but they do. If you listen to the lyrics or read the lyrics, they're talking about not being able to feed the kids and stuff like that. It's like, dang, this song is kind of harsh.
People that don't understand lyrics to songs, I know one of the things that tickles me is I think there's a YouTube video on it. Lawrence Welk and introduces Brewer and Shipley, and he says they're going to sing it. If you remember Lawrence Welk, he had that European accent. they're going to sing a nice little ditty. It's called "One Toke Over the Line." He had no idea what he was. He never had him on the show if he'd have known what they were talking about.
Wow. That's funny.
Yes. Speaking of bad songs, I remember I spent the night at my friend's house, Josh. He's the one that had like the Mad Max Nintendo game, and we would listen to the '80s music while we're playing video games. And then I remember Heart. You guys know Heart, and that song "All I Want to Do Is Make Love to You." That popped on, and he scrambled to the radio to change the station real quickly. And I'm like, dude, that's a good song. And he's like, do you know what the lyrics are about? I go, no, not really. I'm playing the game. And then he's like, well, it's about meeting a guy in a hotel and having sex with him. I'm like, oh, picking up a stranger. And he's like, my mom's cooking in the back. And if she hears that, she's going to take away my Nintendo and the radio. And I'm like, oh, because I wasn't really paying attention to the lyrics. It just sounded good. Yeah, you're right. It sounded good, but I didn't realize, like, oh, yeah, if the mom heard that, there goes the Nintendo, there goes the radio.
Right?
So we had to kind of watch what we were listening to.
Arizona Cowboy ones, he remembers. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. That's all Lawrence Welk. He had those bubbles going. He did that.
Right.
But, since we're talking this trivia on these type of things like music and games and stuff, what's the big basis for Star Trek, the original series? What was the big basis, their mission? If you remember what the mission was, that was a big political thing. If you didn't know that, that was a political television show, if there ever was. You guys are all giving me a blank stare.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you talking about like, having a crew mixed with different races?
No,
Like
it was more their mission was to seek out other. I can't quote.
New life and new civilizations.
Right.
Civilization.
Where no man.
But if you
has
listen,
before.
if you listen to him talk at the beginning, he says, "Our mission is not to interfere, but to observe. It's to observe, advise, but not to interfere with other places." It was an anti-Vietnam show. If you look at the thing, they went to foreign places, and then Shatner told them how they needed to behave, and intervened every time. And they were referring to the fact that we went over to Vietnam and got in the middle of the Civil War. I mean, that's the way a lot of people, if you read a lot of history on that, that's the way most people take it. That was an anti-Vietnam. A lot of those shows back then were. So,
right. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I'd never heard that theory proposed.
Yeah. Star Trek and there were quite a few others like that had overtones to that. And then I've got a whole list of Spotify, I think, has a playlist you can play that's called Weed. And it's all the songs that have weed references to it. And it's just amazing. The songs that I never thought.
Remember them censoring Tom Petty? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was funny because a local radio station around here, when they get to that point where he says, "Let's get to the point, let's roll another joint," a local radio station kind of did their impression of George Takei, and instead of "let's roll another joint," they would say, "How about some nice milk and cookies?" So every time they played that song, "Let's get to the point, how about some nice milk and cookies?" Every time they played that on the radio here. So I used to think that was hilarious, Oh, my daughter's getting ready to leave. 1 second, guys. I'll be right back.
That's one thing I always liked about the radio station in Phoenix. And if AZ Cowboy 1's still here, I don't know how long he's lived in Arizona, but I used to listen to the guy Dave Pratt in the morning in KUPD. They didn't censor anything. So if there was a song and they dropped F-bombs, they played it. They just blasted out on the air and said, "We'll deal with it."
Oh, nice.
They did it here, too.
Yeah.
They did it here.
Yeah. And I always remember, that Rob Zombie, it was White Zombie then, the More Human Than Human song. Mike, are you familiar with that song?
Yeah, I heard that song.
How in the beginning of the song you can hear the woman moaning and stuff. And while the music's first
yeah.
start, you can hear the girl. We were going to Disneyland, and that song came on a local station over there. And my dad was like, "They got Dave Pratt over here," and I was like, "Dave Pratt doesn't put that. That's in the song." He thought the DJ in Phoenix was adding those sex sounds, and I'm like, "No, that's part of the song." But yeah,
That's amazing.
oh, look, AZ Cowboy 1, he still has his red card. I have a red card too somewhere. I don't know what happened to it. And I told the story. I was talking about Dave Pratt. Oh, because when I got into Elko, Dave Pratt was from Elko, Nevada. So I was talking in that video about that DJ. And I'll make this really quick just because AZ Cowboy 1's here. And I don't know if he saw that video when I was talking about it. Candlebox was headlining an outdoor festival down in Phoenix, and they were selling tickets at the radio station and out of the van. And I sent a letter to Dave Pratt saying, "Hey, I'm up in Prescott. How can I get tickets?" And he sent me 6 tickets for free and said, "Enjoy the show." And so that's my little Dave Pratt story. That and he had a little band. He called it Dave Pratt and the Sex Machine Band. And they put out a CD, and I did the same thing. I sent him a check for $5. Said, because that's what he was selling them for. Said, "I want to get one of your CD." He sent the CD with my check enclosed, and said it was right around Christmas time. He said, "Merry Christmas, enjoy the CD."
Oh, cool.
So,
Wow,
yeah,
that's cool.
And he did. He switched over to the country music station. So you'd see him. He'd go golfing with Alice Cooper. He would every time Sammy Hagar came to town, he would go to the station. The next time I heard Dave Pratt, he was interviewing Reba McEntire. I'm like, what just happened? It's like I don't know what the falling out was at the rock station, but he went over to KNIX, the country station in Phoenix. But,
we had a disc jockey here. Speaking of radio, he was just notorious for pulling bad stuff. And gosh, I wish I could remember his name. But he just do the most uncanny stuff, and he'd get fired, and then they'd hire him back a few months later. But I know the worst one was he'd pull gags, and he paid 2 guys to dress up in orange jumpsuits, and he bought handcuffs and put them on them, and had them wired with mics, and he ran, and they were live to the radio station, and he was listening in, and he told them to go door to door and ask in an elite neighborhood out here, one of the nicer neighborhoods, big fancy houses, and run up to houses, and these guys just look like trash, orange jumpsuits, handcuffs, and ask people if they had a hacksaw. I mean, it turned bad. I mean, somebody called the police, and the police had guns on these guys.
Yeah, I tell you what, that can turn out really bad, especially in an area like this. I knew a kid. I knew a family in school, and a lot of times they would get into some trouble. Okay, and the one kid, now this was probably about 30 years ago, he stole a taxi cab. It was sitting there. He stole it and ran from the police, and it was on a scanner, so people knew he was coming, right? He jumped out of this cab. The police were chasing him. He jumped out of it and ran, and a local guy heard on the scanner he was coming, and the local guy just shot him in the kneecap and held him there till the cops came. So you got to be careful pulling stunts around here.
Oh.
And then the funny end of that story was this kid that I knew growing up, shot in the kneecap, but he went to court, and then the judge ordered that he was never allowed to ride in a buyer's taxi cab again. That was the company that owned the cab. Well, then they ordered him to do all this court stuff and found out he had no other way to get there aside from the buyer's taxi cab, because that was the only taxi service in the area at the time. So the judge had to take back that he wasn't allowed near a buyer's taxi cab after that. But, yeah, pulling a stunt like that around here could get you shot if you dress up like a prisoner running around, that's for sure.
Well, if you get a chance, now this guy was Randy Miller. I finally remembered his name and wrote it down. Look up Randy Miller from Kansas City, Missouri. This guy was fired. I mean, he pulled all kind. I think one time he went down to like a busy district in town, like a busy shopping district, and just started throwing $20 bills or something in the air in a crowded area, and just caused a mob scene. I mean, people were trampling each other to grab this money, and of course he's there with a mic, all mic'd up and everything. And reminds me, remember when Les Nessman told him to throw for Thanksgiving, he said, throw the turkeys out? I thought they could fly.
Right. Hey, Poe, I'm guessing Jerome here came from your channel because he mentioned.
Oh, hey,
you.
Jerome. Yeah, Jerome. We're on every Sunday night at 7. So join us.
He said he enjoyed your Dukes of Hazzard game you played. I didn't get to watch your Dukes of Hazzard video yet, Poe. It's on the agenda, but I haven't gotten to it yet. But
I'm behind on Poes, and I'm behind on. Actually, I was watching your trucking videos and didn't even pay attention to your Star Wars. I got to go back and watch your last Star Wars. You've done your last Star Wars Saturday, right?
Star Wars Saturday, and AZ Cowboy 1. I was a little too young to drive when I moved away from Phoenix, but I would go with my brother over there. I hit Metro Center all the time as a kid. But what were we saying? See how distracted.
Star Wars Saturday.
Star Wars Saturday. Yes, that was the last table I had to do. Was the Star Wars Empire Strikes Back episode 5. So I played that, and like fate has it. I said in that video, I'm not sure where I want to go now. I'm going to keep doing pinball videos. I used to do Marvel Monday. I used to do Williams Wednesday, but now I'm doing Truck Sim every day. But I'm going to keep doing it on Saturday, and I asked people to put in the chat what they want me to go, or in the comments, and then about an hour after it went live, Mike texted me and said, "Hey, your comments are shut off on that video." I'm like, "Oh, you freaking YouTube!" So I asked people to say if they want to see me continue Williams or continue with the Zen Originals or the Marvel ones, and I'm going to do that now on Saturdays. But
Well, I think just anything pinball Saturday. Really, it's all entertaining.
I'm gonna keep that pinball going on Saturday, and I'll save what else is my other stuff for the end, my final thoughts. But yeah, I am gonna do that. So anyone who I think I did reactivate those. So if anyone has any thoughts about where you would like to see me go, Williams or Marvel or Zen Originals or just random, go to that last Star Wars Saturday video. Put it down in the comments because now they're active and people can comment, and then I can figure that out. Yeah, but that's a fun table too. I like that Empire Strikes Back table. It's pretty cool.
Well,
it only took me six ball launches, 2 full games worth till I figured out the skill shot that I used to have mastered. Took me 6 launches to figure out what it even was. I'm like, I don't even know what it is. Kelly's watching it with me. You freaking idiot! You just hit that. I'm like, I don't know. But yeah,
some of them are so easy they're right in front of your face. Hey, since we're talking pinball, is it pinball tournament time?
Sounds like it.
Yep.
Sounds like it. Good segue.
We'll do it. Okay, everybody, it's tournament time. And it looks like the results from this last week. Here you go. Oh, look at that. Hollywood Polo, 252,601,000. Congratulations for number 1. Mr. Livewire, 1970, 128 million. Tony's Jorgen, 82 million. Off Grid, 41 million. Yours truly, 7,116,000 on the Switch, and then here on the cabinet, 2,834,000. Poor showing there, but congratulations to Hollywood Polo. There you go for in this week's tournament, which was Paranormal. Let's get a new tournament going here. Let's create a tournament. Had nothing but trouble, it seems like, today. Let's go down here and pick one. I have one in mind, and that is Jurassic World. We're going to create a tournament for Jurassic World. 5 days. Private tournament. Everything else stays the same. G.Parker. I get that right? Yes, I did. Create and play. let's get this thing going. Ooh, he's nasty looking.
Yeah, it's kind of what we do. Go!
And here we go.
No, she said we had to wait.
I don't want to wait anymore. Yeah, look. Today turned out to be a really bad day.
We are working on the details for the big tournament, which should start around the 1st of October. So start getting your practice in and get ready for the big annual tournament. We already had one at the beginning of this year. We have a second one. And this one will achieve points over a designated period of time, which we will disclose later. And there will be a trophy involved for the first place winner, along with some smaller prizes for people coming in other various prize pools. Let's just leave it at that. Oh! There's a man. Oh!
Hey! Eyes on me! Delta! Lock it up! Echo, there you go! Delta! I see you. Back up!
Ooh, gotta get this one over here. There I go.
Stay right there. Hey! What did I just say?
Maybe Progress should lose for once.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Everyone, remain calm.
She said we had to wait.
I don't want to wait anymore. You want to come with us?
Hey! Eyes on me! Stand down. Charlie! Stay right there. Hey, hey! What did I just say? Keep the eye.
Had a good time with these weekly tournaments since the show started, and this all started from when Off Good Arcade myself had that other tournament running. Back at the first part of the year. Oh, Fallout.
I can't wait to tell Mom. Oh, please, no. Do not tell your
So
mother
we've
about that ever.
had some people inquiring, and we've decided to kick off another big tournament coming up. 7 million so far. There you go. Hey, that's the start of the tournament. I was going to play it on through, but well, you're just going to have to get in the tournament to see how well I did. thanks for coming to the show tonight. Hope you enjoy this. Hope you enjoy the tournaments. And back to the show.
Nice choice. I like those
There we
Jurassic
go.
Park tables.
And just not to give anything away, I didn't do much better after I stopped the video. The scores didn't increase that much.
Yeah. But
Well, I was going to say, darn it, I don't think I have those on FX3, but I do have them on FX. But then again, I haven't played in one of our weekly tournaments in about 2 months, I think. So
yeah.
I've been meaning to, and then I remember come Saturday each week. So too late.
So Polo came out on top, huh?
I was going to say, that's what I was getting ready to say. Polo just did an absolute fantastic job.
Yeah, that was a really good game. I thought I did pretty good till I saw the scores above me, and I was like, well, maybe not. But I hadn't played that paranormal table in a while, but I'm looking forward to getting back onto that table, that Jurassic Park. That'll be fun. That'll be a good one. But I tell you though, Greg, you mentioned in there about starting our big tournament in October, and I was thinking, man, tell you what would be cool is if we could throw in like week 5 as a Pinball M table, but I know everyone won't have it, but boy, that would be cool to be able to throw in that, because I'm already excited, as we talked about before, for Pinball M.
Yeah, and I think we've done some talk about that. We've been in the talks about it, and we just haven't made any firm decisions yet. But it is coming, so can't wait to get it going.
Yeah, things are in the works. It's just a matter of sitting down and doing it. So we're only a couple of weeks away from if we're going to start that first week of October, we'll be announcing the last week of September. Hey, get ready. Next week will be the week. So we're only a couple of weeks away from saying next week. So
right,
I'm excited for it. I think it'll be good. And
no, I think it'll be a good time. Sorry, I'm trying to fix something here on my end. So you guys keep it going here for a minute while I try to. I got an audio issue here, so I think you can hear me fine, but I'm getting some distortion. So I'll have it.
Did you see anything on that little bit of leaking about the Switch 2? Whatever the gaming thing that's going on now, supposedly Nintendo has it there, not for the public, but behind the scenes for different gaming places to take a look at.
Oh.
And although you're not going to have your PS5 horsepower, of course, to the thing, it's supposed to be having some kind of, what do they call it, DLSS, artificial intelligence upscaling, to make it almost on par to looking like a PS5 game on the thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's interesting. They're using AI for that, for upscaling. So that's the most I've heard on the thing so far. So,
yeah, I hadn't heard that yet. That's interesting.
Yeah, thought that was pretty cool. It's a DLSS, deep learning super sampling, I think is what they call that.
Yeah, I think I've seen that they've snuck that in a few games here and there. I haven't messed with it myself, but I've seen that DLSS referred to on Reddit on different talking about different games and future upgrades and stuff. So sounds good.
And Derek and I played some Shredder's Revenge today on the PS5.
I saw that. That. Not live. I didn't get to see it live. Well, yeah, I popped on it when you were live, and then the phone rang at work. And I'm like, do I watch Poe or do I do my work? And I figured I should probably do my work. But
yeah, I ended up getting that free on the PS5. We all bought it on the Switch when it came out. And then the PS5 had it with PS Plus for free for a while. So it had been sitting in my library. So today I'm like, well, you know what? I'll go ahead and play it. And they had that new DLC for it that came out whenever that was. I don't know if that was a month ago or a few weeks ago. So I went and bought that. And then Derek popped into the chat, and he's like, "I'm going to get it right now." So he jumped on, and we tried the new DLC. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
So then, of course, to the DLC, I double dipped, and I just bought it for the Switch too. So
Yeah, I was going to tell you, Poe, because and now I don't have to type it, although I'll leave a comment because it's good for the numbers. But you were talking in there about on the Switch version that you played with me online and you played with Mike online, and you said, but I don't think we played at the same time. And you mentioned you played with your kids local. I played with you and your kids.
yeah.
I joined. It was me, you, and your son and daughter.
Yeah.
And I did not get to jump in when you were playing with Mike. That would have been cool, but I didn't get to. So
Yeah, and then when I played with Mike, it was me, Mike, and my son. I don't think my daughter was there that time. That's right. That's how that went.
yeah, probably because she played with me that first time, and then you said, "Yeah, it's another one of the guys from the show," and she's like, "I'm out. I've had enough of those clowns."
Yeah, it'd be cool to get to play that again. And the new mode is a survival mode where you just keep going until you're dead. It was pretty cool.
Because I saw when you were playing with Derek at one point, you mentioned that you were watching his character, and I think that was half the time I was playing with you and your kids. I was like, which one am I again? I don't even know. I was watching you for a while, wondering why, and then I'm watching your boy play and wondering why it's not happening. And I'm like, man, I must be this one then. Meanwhile, my dude's just off in the corner punching nothing, and you guys are all like,
Derek threw me off because usually I take Michelangelo, and Derek took him right away, and I'm like, oh no. I think we could both take them and just change the shades or the different colors, but it's just like, okay, I guess I'll take someone else. I'll take this bunny rabbit. So, yeah, because they added a couple new characters, which I don't know all the characters of that universe, I watched the show a bit back in the day, but I don't know all the Turtles characters, so.
Right, yeah.
But,
I barely know the main one. I mean, I know the Turtles, but some of the, I saw Derek, he turned into, what was it, Bebop or Rocksteady, one of those guys.
Yeah, you can turn into them, and this one, if you grab that power up, you can turn into them. It's pretty cool.
And then you got dead shortly thereafter.
Yeah, and then there's the one area that you play in where it looks like you're in the comic book, but if you go between panels, you die. And I kept messing that up. Instead of jumping from one panel to the next, I kept just walking right down into the hole.
Oh.
So.
I know when you were laying on the ground wanting to be revived, I don't know if you were able to see it, but in the chat, Derek typed in there, he said, I could save Poe right now, but you know what? Nah, let's not. I'd rather type in the chat. And then after you died, Derek was like, "Oh, sorry, Poe. I meant to get to you, but I was busy."
Yeah, when you play online like that, you both have to give permission if you're streaming for your voice to be heard streaming. And we didn't have time to set that up. But also, normally, if I play online with somebody, we set up a private chat room where we can actually hear each other talking. And we didn't have time to set that up either. So we couldn't hear each other. We couldn't talk to each other. Yeah. So I think he was listening to me talk over the live stream that he was watching while he was playing.
Yeah.
But I couldn't hear anything
he probably had to do with delay and all that stuff. He's playing with you live and hearing you on a 3 or 5 second delay.
Right.
So, yeah. But, no, it looked like a good time. So...
Yeah, I went ahead. Right now, they say it's the DLC is on sale, which I think on the eShop it's 80 cents off. Which just by chance, if you have PlayStation Plus, it's 80 cents off on the PS Store too. So, well, I think it's normally like $7.99 for the DLC.
Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah, he was dealing with some delay. He said. But
yeah, big delay. He couldn't see me laying there dead on the ground.
Yeah, you were only laying there for 7 minutes. Derek, I could use some help, and he's all, that's all right. That's all right. I know. That's how Derek. I played Truck Sim with Derek. He just flat out wiped me out. At least he didn't kill you himself. He just didn't revive you. He wiped me out, wrecked my truck.
And Derek, do you have a Switch? I don't think Derek has a Switch, does he?
I don't know. I don't know if he does or not. He should. He's not. See, just like in the game, he's not answering now.
He's ordering one right now, as we speak.
He's ordering one. Oh, he says, yeah, he has one.
Oh, you see, he got one already.
He got one. Yeah, it's on the way. He has one. It's in Amazon's outbox right now. Yeah. We got to get back on there and play some of those sports games again, too.
Yeah. I'd love if we could play some Ninja Turtles on there again. I love those beat 'em ups, but it always seems rough. To get us together for anything anymore is really rough. But.
Yeah, and I know we always talk about it, but I think Walkabout Mini Golf just released a new course too, or they're about to. I don't know if it came out or if it's about to come out. So we need to do some mini golfing together.
Yeah.
And shoot some video footage of that.
Is it the Elvira course?
It's
Is it the Elvira course?
that would be nice. They would have some. No, what is it? It's another one of those fantasy type courses, though. Yeah, but yeah, there's all kinds of stuff you could do with an Elvira course. We know what at least 3 of the holes would be, but Greg's listening. I saw him laugh. I don't know. He's back. Did you get your audio issues fixed, Greg?
2 things happened. One is audio got messed up. Somehow it switched back over to my headset. If I'm running OBS and this StreamYard software, StreamYard, they have separate outputs, and somehow I hit something I hit one of my F keys messing with something else. I think it's a hotkey to turn one of those on or off. So you guys just all of a sudden it was conflicting. And then I haven't eaten since we were on the run all day today. So Cheryl brought me a sandwich and chips. So I fixed that, and at least I didn't want you to sit here and watch me. I'll eat my chips, but I thought I'll just stay off until I get the sandwich ate. I didn't want you to see me scarfing that sandwich down.
Right. Yeah. But
getting late, and I hadn't had supper.
Yeah. So what else? What else is new, Mike? Anything new going on with you?
Well, I got, like I said, I'm working on the. I know, like Farrell was asking me about. I'm still recording gameplay from the Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. So I've been playing that. I haven't played it in a long time, so I forgot where everything's at. So I've been just kind of exploring around, but in a weird way, it's like I'm kind of figuring things out because I remember playing it a long time ago when I was a teenager. And it's like, oh yeah, I remember this and doing that. Like, yeah, it's been a long time, but since I've been playing, I've been just love exploring that world and stuff. And compared to Zelda 2, I know Arizona Cowboy was mentioning he likes that game. Yeah, Zelda 2 is hard. Like I tried playing that, and I got to at least to the first temple, and I was reading on it. Like it gets progressively harder on the game, so it's like I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat that one, but I'll see how far I can get with it. I kind of quit playing that. It's like, well, I can shoot more of my video on Link to the Past because I played that game and I beat it before, so I went back to playing that. And then I'll do a little bit more with Zelda 2. So I just got to watch somebody else play it, just to kind of get the ropes where to go, since I've never played it before. But I do like it compared to when I was a kid. I did not like it when I was a kid. I absolutely hated that one. I would have preferred playing. I wasn't even a big fan of the original Legend of Zelda 2 for the NES. I'd rather play Dragon Warrior. I think that was my first RPG that I've ever played that I really liked. So. But now I'm older. Like I said, I like playing the Legend of Zelda. That's what I've been working on. But I was talking to you guys earlier. So I'm doing something with a semi-truck, which involves the police, and hopefully I can get that out for next live stream. So I just did a test run on it, and yeah, I got killed right away. But I'm going to try to see if I can get a longer drive out of
Nice.
that than bring you guys and show you the video. So that should be funny. That's all I got.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. So what are we doing, Greg? Poe, did you have anything in specific you wanted to talk about? Or did we already talk about anything you wanted to talk about?
Well, we talked about Shredder's Revenge. Yeah, that's a good time. We got to play that again. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did my Dukes of Hazzard video. That was fun times. If you watched that, I did get a little mouthy and a little adult speaking frustration in the middle of the driving of that. And I did something strange here this week. I don't know. It was weird. Now, I don't advertise my videos on my social media and stuff, so usually the only time I gain people or lose people is whenever I have a new video out, and that happened this week. I gained a couple people, at least I was told I did, according to my emails, and then I also lost a couple people and then gained a couple people again. So I don't know if it was my foul mouth that did that or if people accidentally subscribed and then unsubscribed. It's a mystery to me. Well, I know it's you. But yeah.
I unsubscribed, and then you dropped the F-bomb, and then I resubscribed because you did.
So I made you happy.
That's why I came back. I don't know.
Well, I did.
Dropped the F-bomb.
Yeah. I had 2 new videos this week, and a lot of times I have 0 new videos out, so maybe some more. But I did finally do the new Popeye video last Monday for the NES, and then I did the Dukes of Hazzard one. So
Yeah. It's funny you talk about the adult language. That truck sim can bring out some actual real life road rage sometimes. I'm sure of anyone that watches my videos the whole way through. Most of the time I'm pretty calm, but everyone, motherfucker, what do you got? I think I was driving. I pissed off the whole eastern side of Texas the other day because there's assholes on this side of the state. This is the way they drive. And I'm like, I've never been there in real life. I'm basing it on some AI driver in a video game. Yeah, I did catch your Popeye video. That was pretty good. And you're almost there, right? You got that 700 deal.
Yeah,
right?
I'll do the homebrew, and then we'll get to the arcade. That's it.
And then to the arcade one. Yeah. Good
And I think
times.
up next for the next few 2600 games I do are going to be brought to you by the Gaming Road Warrior. So we'll do some dedication to him. Because, I think tomorrow I looked at my tracking. I'm going to be getting an instruction manual for MASH.
Nice.
So, and Mike found that when he was out and about. So I never had the instruction manual. I had the cartridge. So now I'm going to be able to actually read about what I'm doing for this game. So that's right. They made MASH.
Is that the Hot
Hot
Lips
Lips.
edition?
It is now.
Nice.
That's the BJ Honeycutt edition. Trapper. Actually, you're Hawkeye in this game, and you're playing against Trapper in it. It's weird.
Wow.
Strange choice for a game for sure. But everybody was,
It looks cool.
yeah, it's different for sure. But yeah, that's definitely. I don't know when I would have got to it, but now I'm definitely going to get to it because I've got the instruction manual coming tomorrow. So that'll be the next one coming up.
Excellent. Looking forward to it.
Bart, you were talking about real life, how frustrating it can get in any of these games. Sometimes you just get, when I was playing Metroid, I'd get so frustrated, when I was, in one of I forget the initials for whatever the bad thing was, but, you're going after basically the boss, as they describe in a lot of games, and you just get so frustrated. But I know in that American Truck Simulator, I get frustrated at people because it's real life stuff that frustrates me in real life. That person that's trying to be nice and let you go, and then once you start to go, they start to go and hit you. And I remember I yelled at one guy in my video. I said, "Just drive your car and I'll drive my truck," because I've had that happen in real life. People will stop to let you go, and I'll say, if you'd have just gone and obeyed the rules and moved your car and kept the flow of traffic going, then I could have gone. But now we both sat there with our thumb up our butt. And, and I know I just raged on him. And I thought afterwards, this is just a game. I think I said in one of my videos, Cheryl's going to come down here and put me in a home. Because, I even go upstairs and I tell her, I said, man, I made $50,000 today and I hired a driver and I got to run down to my shop down there in Oklahoma and I had to get some tires and this and that. And she goes, what are you talking about? I go, well, my truck driver thing. She's like, I just called the nursing home. We're going to get you moved in. So, yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about on Reddit today. Not that I want to hijack this whole thing going back to truck sim, but I was on Reddit today and they were complaining about the AI drivers, like they always do. And someone mentioned about how they merge because they wait till the very end of the lane that they have to get out of. And I said, to be fair to the developers, have you seen people merge in real life? People don't know how to merge, period. That's if people learned how to merge and how to let people merge, all of that traffic in rush hour on the highways would be smooth. But idiots don't know how to let people in or just get in and go. And that's what, so I think they did pretty good with the AI in that truck sim game because they drive like shit, just like real people.
I saw some road rage coming back from the airport today because there's one place coming from Kansas City out to my community where the highway narrows down from 6-lane to 4-lane. So in each side, and there's a sign that says lane ends in 2 miles, lane ends in a mile, lane ends in a half mile, lane ends in 500 feet, 400 feet. I mean, they're telling you, and these people just drive along and there's Jersey barriers there. And they don't look or anything. Just when their lane ends, they just follow that white line on the left side and just come right on over.
Yeah.
And I've seen the people get mad at the semi drivers. Semi drivers will see them coming and know that they're going to bottleneck things up, so they'll swing their trailers out there.
Yeah.
And I applaud them. What they're doing is they're saying, "Hey, you stupid ass, this lane ends, and I'm not going to let you around me so you can get ahead of me and bottleneck this thing. If everybody just get over." So, see, now look at what we just did. Spent 2 minutes talking about a game that's so realistic that it's got us raging on our channel here today.
Yeah, there was one in my video that went out today, and Jerome here is talking about had someone go through a 4-way stop in the middle of the 4-way and give him the right of way. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it, and I almost called you out, Greg, because I was at a stoplight, and there was a Jeep there. So I was going to make some Jeep reference to you, and I told Kelly, I said, watch this guy, watch the Jeep. No one was going. My light was red, and as soon as my light turned green, he went from the side street. And it's like, really? You sat there the entire light cycle and then went in front, and now Jerome just confirmed people do that in real life.
Yeah.
So, road rage, the live stream, says Farrell.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't even mention flashing yellow or flash. So I just laugh when I read these Reddit threads where people complain about the AI driving. It's like, have you not seen real drivers?
Yeah.
I mean, hell, half the stuff they do that's stupid I've done. You know, it's like, whoops, you know.
Yeah.
You mess up sometimes, but I don't know. But anyway, I don't know. Are we talked out? Are we going to final thoughts, or what are we doing?
Yeah, I think it's time to move into final thoughts. We've had. I'm just going to say this real quick before we do that. I'm really tickled with the amount of people we've had show up, jump in the chat, come back, and Bart keeps a great eye on the chat. If there is something in particular, I'd rather you do it earlier on in the show than right now. But something you want us to talk about, put it up on the chat, and we try to do this. We try to pay close attention to it and make the show kind of be driven a little bit by the chat, so we appreciate that. But let's go to final thoughts, and we'll start down with. Let's just start with the gaming road warrior right down there, right below me here. See what he's got to say.
Oh, final thoughts. Let me think here. Oh, it's good. I had it right over there. I've never played the Game Boy games before. I think I only played two. One being Super Mario Land and Tetris. That my
Classic.
friend, he lent me a Game Boy just to try out. Yeah, and I only just intended there was like a game sitting behind me. I know you guys can't see it. That'll be in a future video, but I only intended to just buy that one stupid game, and then next thing you know, here I am on eBay. Like, oh, I never played that game before. Haven't played that one either, and I haven't played that one either. So I ended up buying. Well, you guys seen it. I posted on the on our little chat all these Game Boy games that I haven't played before. But I'm actually really excited because a lot of those games are they take place like if you play the original. For example, Metroid 1, the Game Boy. Metroid 2 is only on Game Boy, so you would have to play the Game Boy version to follow up on the storyline to play the Super Nintendo one. So I've been buying these games that have like kind of a connectivity to the original NES games, like Kirby. Kirby 1 goes to Kirby's Adventure, and then Kirby 2, Dreamland 2 is after the NES game. So I'm like really excited about playing these games that I've never had a chance to. I did buy the Super Nintendo, the Super Game Boy, so I don't have to buy a Game Boy because I'm like you, Poe. I really don't. I'd rather, if I can, play it on the TV than a handheld because my eyes. So
Right.
yeah, I bought that so I can play it on my big screen TV. I've been having a blast with it. I think I'm working on Metroid 2 right now, and it's such a fun game. That's my final thought. So just thought I'd share that because I love the Game Boy now.
Cool. Yeah,
Excellent.
I've got a Game Boy knockoff that I bought that's got a bunch of games on it. And I do like the fact that the Nintendo Switch now has some Game Boy games on it if you got the online membership. So I have been able to play some of those too. So the reason I thought of that is because I've been able to play that Metroid game on the Switch with that online. That Game Boy version is on that service, so that's cool. So, good, thanks, Mike. Oh, what you got?
Yep.
We'll be doing eventually, right? Popeye on 7800. So as soon as we get to our next Popeye game, that is the one. And like I said, we'll be doing MASH on the 2600. So this will be our next two Atari adventures. And if you missed it, I did Dukes of Hazzard yesterday on the ColecoVision, and I swore at it. I had a heck of a time playing that one, but it was fun. And old Poe showed up at my house this week with
Oh,
my
nice.
Funko Pop. And he has-
Let's get that big.
He has Nacho with him. He has a game controller, and he has he has a beer with him. So yeah, my lighting's probably terrible in here for old Poe, but there he is.
Hey,
Another
wait
one
a
of those.
minute. He's supposed to have Stretch Armstrong with the tiny Atari.
He didn't have that as an option. He does need an Atari. He needs an Atari logo on his hat, though. That wasn't an option either. He's grumpy.
So what's the story? What's the story behind that? Is there a story behind that?
Yeah, just that I'm stupid, and late at night I'm sitting there on Facebook, and I had an advertisement of make your own Funko Pop, and I was never really into pops to begin with. But then I'm sitting there going through, and I started building one. And I'm like, oh, let's make an old Poe. And I'm like, oh, you can add a dog. I'm like, Nacho. It's like, oh, accessories. I'm like, beer. Yeah, he could put a beer in his hand and a video game controller, and then it said put his name, and I'm like, old Poe. And then next thing you know, I'm hitting the buy it button, and next thing you know, it was in the mail.
Nice.
Very
Well,
good.
so, next thing you know, $10,000 later, you got a phone. No, I think that's kind of cool. I think you shared that with us privately. I
Right.
saw it, and I thought, did he just Photoshop something? Because I said that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I like that. Old Poe. I agree with you. I don't know. I've got some Funko Pop stuff that's kind of cool, but I only get ones that halfway look like what they really should look like. Like the Demogorgon from Stranger Things to go in my room in there, and because of the Stranger Things pinball. But they had a Travis Kelce Funko Pop out here in Kansas City, because he's our tight end, a big star, Super Bowl guy. And I looked at it, and the show says, "Oh, we want to get one of those." I said, "It doesn't look like Travis Kelce. It looks like a Funko Pop with Travis Kelce's name on it." I said,
All right.
"I'm not paying."
Yeah, the only other thing I ever had was that Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan one there. My kids had a bunch of them when they were younger. They had a lot of the different superhero ones and stuff like that. All kinds. But I never got into those things. But that night I built old Poe. Next thing you know, he was shipped to the house. I'm like, what did I do?
Nice. Nice. Yeah, Jerome's got him a Stretch Armstrong, and he ripped him first day. Oh, yeah. You gotta work into. You gotta ease into those Stretch Armstrongs. You can't just go hog wild on day one.
Yeah, I stabbed my brothers back in the late '70s, early '80s. I stabbed the hell out of them.
Yeah,
So,
if you get too rough with them too soon, they'll never make it to nipple stage. So Poe's made it to fancy underpants and nipples. That's how you know.
his panties wore off. But
That's how you know you've made it as a Stretch Armstrong, if you've developed your nipples.
Is that what that glue looked like when your dad pulled the knob off the TV?
Get this way. Turn the channel here.
Well, let's see. The viewer count just went from 40 to 10. Anyway.
That's funny.
Bart, what do you got for final thoughts?
Yeah, I was starting to get into it earlier. I'm just going to briefly say I do have some changes coming up with some of this stuff. I liked the idea when I was doing the Williams Wednesday, Marvel Monday, and all that, and I think I'm going to the pinball is going to all be on Saturday, I think, or maybe it might be Saturday and Sunday, but I'm going to do my truck sim videos. Are going to be Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday now. Those are going to be truck sim days because Friday is going to be flight sim. Got to go with flight sim Friday. I'm going to do a flight every Friday. And Tuesday, you'll find out Tuesday what Tuesday is going to be. I have purchased a new simulator, and that's all the hints I'm giving you is that it's coming out on Tuesday. So
you got a new stimulator?
A new stimulator. And it will be out. My first video will be out. I did the tutorial is the only thing I've done on the thing, so I can see, make sure it's working. And my first time actually playing the game will be, I'll play it tomorrow, and it will air on Tuesday on my channel.
Oh, nice.
And then from going on, that simulator for a while anyway. So, and then basically the truck sim is every other day that I'm not doing something. So Tuesday I'll have its day. Friday will be flight sim Friday. The weekend's going to be reserved for pinball. And Derek's making guesses. Toilet sim Tuesday. That's a good guess.
Oh, how do you know? How do you know?
He put a spy cam up.
We're just like the crappy games.
Yeah. But Saturday and Sunday will be like pinball, and then maybe I'll do some iArcade video, classic arcade games kind of stuff, some Donkey Kong Saga, some of those. Maybe I'll do now that we can get the oh man, now my brain just went fried with the Wizard of Walls, and then what's the original Wizard of War? Is it? Now that's available to get on the arcade. Maybe I'll play them both. Stuff like that. So I'll do that on. Get back to some retro gaming on Sunday, and Saturday will be pinball. Then during the week will be stimulator weekdays.
Nice. I did just buy a game last night and totally forgot until you were talking about this. So now it's time for me to cut in again. And I bought that Skylines VR for the PS5 last night. I was going to go live with it today, but I thought maybe that's not a good thing to go live with. So, but it's the Skylines VR Vive for the PS5, and they have a new Skylines coming out for the PS5 next month that isn't VR. And I used to like SimCity on the Super Nintendo back in the day, and even on the PC back in like 2001. I used to play around with that, so I wanted to try this out. So
yeah, and
a little bit of skipping.
That submarine simulator that's supposed to come out for the Quest, it is still coming out this fall, and that's a multiplayer where we can all take different stations on the submarine. I think it's going to be like $17-18, so it's not ridiculous.
No,
that might be a simulator we can all four play together, and every once in a while, not every day. But the one I'm doing on Tuesday was actually designed with VR in mind.
Cool.
But I did the tutorial both ways, and I'll be playing in what they lovingly call the pancake mode on the flat screen. It was a little easier to function, which I'll get into on Tuesday's video. But I'm pretty excited about it.
And for those of you watching playback that want to hit the rewind thing, yes, Bart did say he was going to do foreplay with the simulator.
Play with the simulator. The stimulator.
The stimulator. We need like a Memphis Belle type game that we can all play together. Wouldn't that be sweet?
Yeah, like the old Intellivision B-17 bomber.
Yeah.
They could all be in different stations.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
That would be cool. I think there is one coming out, but I don't know if it's PC VR or if it's going to be available on other platforms. But I saw upcoming games, and I think there is a B-17 simulator thing that's multiplayer. It's supposed to be multiplayer, so you can take different stations.
Oh man!
And jump around and be the nose gunner or the belly gun, the waist gunner, whatever, belly gunner, all that stuff. Bombardier.
Awesome.
But that could be fun. And Derek wants Greg to fire up the brothel sim.
Yeah. That's about the dumbest game I've ever seen with no end in sight. It's just, I don't know. Thank God it was, I think, 99 cents or something like that, because I've never seen anything like it before in my life, and it really is just absolutely. It entices you. Brothel sim. Well, there ain't no brothel to it. Anyway, it's funny. I guess it's funny. Is that all you got, Bart? I don't want to jump.
No, that's all I got. Look for new stuff on Tuesday, but I'm doing a little bit, Mike, with the keeping it quiet till it hits. Like Mike inspired me with his video a couple videos ago where he's like, "You guys just gotta wait and see." Yeah. So, and Mike didn't even clue us in. He didn't even clue us in. So don't think we had any inside scoop.
I know one thing that you mentioned doing, and I don't know, maybe I should have waited to talk to you this off the air, but I really think it'd be cool. I like that concept of having you do your truck simulator, and I don't remember if you said you'd do it live or not, but then you'd also have make use of the Discord and have people come in and visit with you while you drove. So I don't know if that's something.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what it is, and you and Derek need to go ahead and buy the stuff. It's a striptease stimulator, and you guys go ahead and buy the pole from Amazon right now and get ready for Tuesday. Get ready to make your own videos.
But yeah, Greg, that's a live stream, and I do still plan when I have more time. But until this work schedule gets figured out now, because I got to work in the evenings a couple nights. This week I got to go to El Paso for a doctor appointment on Thursday, and so I don't know how much live streaming I'm going to be doing for the next couple weeks. But yeah, the live call-in through the Discord is still a plan to be happening, and I found out there is a key combination, and I can set up a button right on my little truck controller. Boom! Kill the Discord sound. So insta-mute. So if anyone gets out of hand, I can insta-mute them. But I don't foresee that as a problem because we got a pretty good group of viewers and Discord members. So I think it'll be good. So, cool. What do you got, Greg?
Well, I was just going to say, I've been having it's just too easy to record the truck simulator video I admit that there's not a whole lot, just a little bit of editing at the beginning to put my little startup and thanks for watching thing. But I'm kind of liking to keep the storyline, and I through watching you, I'm in total agreement. Not because you said it; it's just the way I feel about it. I'm trying to keep it real with the truck simulator, and I'm trying to keep a timeline going as I build this thing. And so I got to admit, it's eating a lot of my time. But what I am planning on doing, I lost a video capture card. I don't know what happened to it. It was a better one I bought. The one I bought off Amazon, the cheaper one's working better. So my next goal is to, aside from putting out some pinball and especially working on this tournament in the future with you coming up, we'll do some videos announcing those each week. But I'm going to get the AT games back out. I decided I'm going to get the AT games out, and I want to start looking at some of those games that I've got stacked up on there. I realized it's just sitting, and got to get me a video card hooked up. But I want to play some of more of the AT games pinball. I started doing some of the different ones that they've come out with, and I think, they're coming out with the new 4K one too. AT games is coming out with that new one, so I don't know, kind of going to look into that, do some talk about that. So that's kind of my plans for the future. But right now, just having too much fun. American Truck Simulator, European Truck Simulator, and I just picked up, if you watch my channel, a Need for Speed, $6.59 or $69 regularly, $6.99 on Steam right now, and you are able to get it to work with the steering wheel we got. It's funny, you got to install Logitech software to make it work with the Thrustmaster wheel. Now, don't ask me why. But
and as soon as we finish this stream, I will resume my download of that Need for Speed Heat. Also, I purchased it at $6 or $6.99, $7 for a $70 game. It's like you'd almost be dumb not to buy it, right? I mean,
yeah.
So,
and it's got a multiplayer version. I haven't figured out how you unlock it yet. It's like I finally downloaded the PDF. There's actually a file you can download from the developer that's got instructions to it, because this game, you got to read some it's a storyline racing game, but unlike real life truck sim where I try to not hit things and drive right and not get violations, this is just knock them dead, you're an outlaw, and you just, hell, if you run off the track, who cares? Just take out a light pole and keep on going. So I'll have a couple of those videos. But that's it for me. I want to thank everybody for showing up, and we're here every Sunday night with nonsense. And is it appropriate to say we're here with nonsense and bullshit for about an hour and a half to 2 hours every Sunday night? So.
I don't know if it's appropriate, but it's accurate.
Did we recognize I guess we recognize a lot of these people in the chat. I know if I get started, then I'll miss some.
Yeah, everybody that was in the chat's been on the screen at least once or twice. Jerome, it's nice to see you here. I think it's the first time we saw him. Derek, of course, is here. Chaos was here. Feral Infernal was here. AZ Cowboy 1 was here. Macho Man Randy Savage. Retro Man Randy Savage. Savage was here. Hollywood Polo. Man, a lot of people. Yeah, Kelly was here, of course. If I didn't mention your name, it's because you didn't talk in the chat enough. So that's on you.
Livewire was here too.
Livewire was here. Yeah, he was here for a while.
Yep.
And so a lot of our regulars, a couple new people. So that's always cool. If you want us to mention you, talk in the chat. We try to throw everybody on the chat on the screen and engage. It's fun stuff because sometimes we all four don't know what we're going to say anyway. So if there's something good in the chat, we can go off of that. But yeah, so I agree. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, and we'll leave it with some final words because I know old Poe's getting tired, and it's time to go to our outro.
I'm pretty tired. Think I'll go home now.